let's get started. If you have any questions about winter cycling, some things you make sure you really want to know before this class is over, before this workshop is over, please drop it in the chat box so that we can make sure we answer it before the workshop is over. And so let's get started. First, I want to know, why would you ride your bike in the wintertime? Why would you ride your bike in the wintertime? There's so many reasons why you would ride your bike in the wintertime. Well, you may need to get to work. You may need to get to school. You may want to get some exercise. Cycling has a lot of benefits, such as mental health, physical health benefits. And just because it's winter time does not mean you need to stop riding your bike. Oftentimes when it's the winter time, the sun does not come out a lot. So a lot of us may experience some sadness because the sun isn't out. Well, bring that sadness back to your life. What? By getting on two wheels. So the first thing you want to do is decide where you want to either ride your bike outdoors or ride your bike indoors. So if you want to decide on what you want to do, we're going to talk about the outdoor cycling first in the first part of the class, which is first, before you start riding your bike outdoors, you got to prepare your bike. Now, I don't have a real actual bike with me, but I do have a demo bike. This bike is in no condition to ride outdoors at all. Reason being is it's not ready for it. It's just not ready to ride outdoors. Most people will not ride outdoors because the tires are really skinny, right? So you want to prepare. So if you look at the guide, if you are able to look at the guide, you can also look at this guide afterwards, after the workshop is over. But one thing I mentioned is you want to get some studded tires. So there's bicycle tires that you can swap out, and they will have studs in them to help grip the snow and the slush. Not so much the ice. I would say ice is bad for everybody and everything, but the slush and the hard snow. So having some studded tires. Or you can just get a whole new bike if you would like to, and they have these bikes called fat bikes, or you can get a 29er bike. So it just has really big tires, and you can definitely roll through the snow and roll through the heavy terrain on those big fat tires. So those are two ways to get prepared for outdoor cycling. Outfit your bike with the proper tires, such as studded tires, or a whole new bike with such as a fat bike or a 29er. Another thing that you will want on your bike is a fender. This bike does not have a fender. So what's going to happen is the snow, the slush, the ice is just going to pretend like the person is sitting right here, and it's just going to spray all off. So having a fender on your bike, and I have a fender. This is a clip-on fender that you can put onto your bike. You definitely want a fender on your bike when you're riding outdoors, because you don't want none of this slush, and it's really dirty. The snow is really pretty when it first falls down, but after the tires start driving on it, it's dirty. So get your fender and put it on your bike, outfit it, and that is one way to prepare. Another way to prepare is make sure you have your lights. I know it is currently 6:30, maybe about 6:45, but it feels like it's midnight, right? So make sure you have lights on your bike. Very important. White light in the front, red light in the rear, and have lots of reflectors. The more, the merrier. I like to share with you. Of course, you want to have a safety vest when you're riding. That's the one thing. In addition to your lights, reflective gear, bright colors. This is bright yellow. I like this one because it has a pocket in there, so you can carry anything you need, your snacks. But one thing, as I mentioned about reflectors, is look at this. This is just glowing in the night. This is a whole 360 reflective jacket. Now you can pick up one of these at our local bicycle shop here in Cleveland, Upcycles Bicycle, or you can pick one up wherever they sell 360 reflective items. You will definitely be seen on your bike when you are riding with 100% reflective gear. What else do I have on here? Lights, reflective pedals. Now, if you ride your bike throughout the winter, throughout the summertime, the spring, and you are clipping into your bike with clipless shoes, you may want to, in the wintertime, take those off because now you're going to wear boots, unless you have boots that has a clip in with them too. But you more than likely might just have maybe wearing your regular boots with you. And so you may want to take off your pedal that has the clip in and put a regular pedal, regular flat pedal, so you can ride your bike. And I put on here is the seat adjustment. When you are riding your bike in the wintertime, you're going to be wearing way more clothes, way more layers, lots of layers actually, so that you can, if you get warm, you can take off layers, but you're going to be just a little bit more heavier with clothing. What that means is you may need to adjust your seat a little bit because now you just have more stuff. So when you are riding your bike in the summertime, in the spring, you have less clothing, your seat is adjusted to your comfort. Now you have extra clothes on your body. So make sure you want to adjust your seat. Another thing that you want to have, I have on there is bar mitts. Where's my bar mitts? Right here. And I have a picture on the guide. If you can't see the guide, I'll show you. Right. I can't show you. There, right there, I can show you. They're right there. They're bar mitts, but they look like this. They look like this. And it is neoprene material. And you would attach it to your bicycle to your handlebar. Put my hands in here so it shows. Now I'm riding my bike. The handlebar is right there in the middle. Now a lot of times this will reduce the air that's coming onto your fingers, because that happens. That's really sometimes the things that gets cold first, your extremities, your fingers and your toes. So if you can make sure you keep those areas warm, the warmest, then that will help you. So having these bar mitts right here helps the air flow over and under. And a lot of times people don't even really wear thicker gloves when they have the bar mitts because it just gets to be too much, because you don't want to have also too much gloves on your hand, because then you won't be able to change your gears or brake, and you want that when you ride your bike. So having some bar mitts. If you don't have bar mitts, regular gloves, of course. Now I'm going to show you this. This is a good brand. Okay, well, maybe. It says shower. Oh, it's upside down. That's why you couldn't see it, because it was upside down. Shower Pass. So Shower Pass makes these really nice gloves that it does reduce the amount of water that does get onto your hands. Now, Shower Pass also makes these are my absolute favorite. These are Shower Pass socks. They also make Shower Pass jackets. It's a brand. Jackets, clothing, whatever. Socks. Back in the days, I heard that you parents and grandparents put our shoes, our feet in the bread bags, so that we was walking in the snow and keep our feet warm. This is like the same concept. It's plastic fabric, so that your feet definitely will stay warm. Again, your extremities are going to be the most things that gets cold first. So you definitely need to keep these warm. Those two items, Shower Pass, and then another pair of gloves, type of glove. Now, the brand I'm not too stuck on yet, but these are called Lobster Gloves. I'll move my head out the way. Lobster Gloves, because you got like lobster hands. Because when you have your extremities kind of staying together, they're being friends. They're going to stay warmer because their body heat is staying connected together. So this is the concept when you have lobster gloves, is you're keeping some fingers close together so they can stay warm. So now, again, with the bar mitts, or if you don't have lobster gloves, or you just have any regular kind of gloves, thin gloves is good. You can also, I like these. I'll wear my thin gloves because, again, you want to make sure you can use your touch screen on your mobile devices or stuff like that, but you still want your hands to be warm. So having a pair of wool gloves to go over your regular gloves is also helpful too, because again, your hands, your fingers are staying together inside the mitt and they're just staying warm. So that's good right there. Any questions really quick? I'm going to try to keep on the chat here if I can find my mouse. There it is. Let's see here. Oh, yes, thank you. Bar mitts are also referred to as pogies. So if you another terminology for that. And hand warmers. Yes, that is right here on my list. If you don't have or you want to use thin gloves, I definitely recommend putting some hand warmers and even toe warmers. The only difference is the shape between a hand warmer and a toe warmer. The hand warmer is a rectangle and the toe warmers are like that shape, like a big toe. But they do the same thing. What they do, they are activated charcoal, and you really do need to activate it about 30 minutes before you actually go outside. So if you need to leave your house at 10 o'clock, activate this at 9:30 so that at 10 o'clock when you do leave, then it is warm for you because it won't get warm right away. But these will stay warm for quite some time. It says up to 10 hours of heat. Don't believe it. It's not up to 10 hours. It's maybe half that time. But with these two little packages, also keep into my bag some tissue and some antibacterial wipes. We should have plenty of that as we are in a pandemic right now. So having those two items in your bag, having some extra items in your bag just for the comfort because it is cold out there and you just want to make sure you have tissue and everything with you. Now, let me make sure. Talked about the hands. I'm going to backtrack a little bit because now when we're riding our bike, of course, we are to wear a helmet. And I know I talked about lights, having a white light in the front and a red light in the rear. So I wanted to show this helmet because this will serve as dual purposes, right? Have light in the front and light in the back. So you can have your lights because again, it gets darker earlier these times. Now, I wanted to also show you that they have helmet covers. Now, I wouldn't use this one because I wouldn't want to mess up with the light feature. But as you see, we have helmets and they have the holes in them. So for circulation and what have you, but it's wintertime. So you want to cover that up. So they make helmet covers where various designs, even waterproof helmet covers that you can put right over your helmet. And that will also help keep some of the heat in to your body because a lot of our heat does escape out of our head. So if we can keep our head warm, then we can keep a lot of the heat in. So it's really simple to just put it over. You have a helmet cover on your helmet. And as I mentioned about keeping the heat from your head, here it is a balaclava. I have to make sure I don't say baklava because we eat baklava and we actually wear a balaclava. So having one of these, it will cover up our head and our ears and our neck all at the same time. So having one of these, having a helmet cover, and then even you can reduce the amount of wind that's coming into your eyes with some ski goggles. It's a winter sport. We're outside. Riding a bike is technically a sport. It is winter. So don't be afraid to cross items, skiing, but you can use it for cycling. And it'll fit right good up underneath your helmet there. And you can keep your eyes clear because I found, it's your glasses are fogging up. And I find that these goggles, different brands, but they don't fog up as much. So you can still see. One thing also I wanted to mention about items. This is a brand, I got to learn how to do this. Columbia brand items. What I like about it is the aluminum. It's Omni Heat. It's the Omni Heat technology, but I call it like aluminum foil. These items does also keep you warm. On this guide that I have, when you can look at it, I have it's called What to Wear, and it's a little guide over here, What to Wear. It is small right now, but you can click on it and it'll come up to a full page. But it breaks down between 70 to 80 degrees and up to 20 to 30 degrees, all the different ranges of what you can wear between base layers and jackets and arm warmers and just a whole bunch of stuff. Water, the windproof, because that's one thing you want to make sure is windproof. You want heat and you want to keep the wind off. So having some wool items, that's usually a good fabric to have. Wool sweatshirts, wool sweaters is good. Base layers, like I mentioned, base layers and long johns are two different things. And I had to learn that. And it's just the materials. Growing up, I would wear long johns, but I'll still be cold. And then I found out about base layers. And base layers, you want the base layers to be directly next to your skin because that's what's going to keep and hold the heat into your body. So having some base layers in. And I want to say, for us ladies that's on here, don't be afraid to go shop in the men's departments at the stores and find the small size. Because for some reason, these retailers do not think that women is outside playing in the weather as well. And they don't have a lot of the base layers and items to keep us warm. I don't know. They think I'm sure we want to be cute, but we also want to be warm too. So like I mentioned, don't be afraid to head over to the men's section and find some items, because that's where I usually find stuff at, like at Marshall's and TJ Maxx and stuff like that. All right. I think I got about all of that. Got my jacket, my base layer, my safety vest, jacket, talked about what you wear, base layers, arm warmers. And a lot of things I like the arm warmers and leg warmers, and I even make knee warmers, is because, as you know, you get out and you start riding in the earlier part of the day and it's colder and then it gets warmer. So now you don't want to take off everything, but now your arms may be warmer. And so you can just take the sleeves off and you'll still be okay. So that is that. I did talk about the feet a little bit. I talked about the shower pass socks. We'll also want to talk about shoe covers. Make sure you get them bigger than what you need, because you actually have, it actually goes over your entire shoe. So if you wear a size small, then get a medium or a large so it can go over your shoe. But these, again, that neoprene material, and it will again keep your feet, because that wind is coming on you, and it'll keep your feet warm. They have full cover shoe covers, and then just like toe covers, which is just the same concept, but they just go over the toes, more for when you're riding on a road bike when there's no snow or ice on the ground. Okay, I think I have everything as far as outdoor riding. As far as materials for outdoor riding, all right, so then you have all your stuff. You got your bike together, you got your clothes together. So now you're ready to go out. So then you want to, of course, check the weather to see what you need to wear and what have you. Know your route. I would suggest that now is not the time to find any new routes to find where you need to go, because you just don't want to be stranded or stuck outside and it's cold out there. Keep your electronics close. A lot of times we are using our mobile devices and it is cold out there. So you want to keep them as close to your body, I find, because once it get the extreme weather is for both ends, extreme hot and extreme cold, your electronic devices will not work. So if you keep it close to your body, it's going to be good. Food and drink. Okay, so drink before you're thirsty and eat before you're hungry. Have some snacks with you. Now, I would, though, carry a thermos bottle in the wintertime, because your water is going to freeze. It's cold out there. So you have a thermos, then it will keep it at least not freezing, some form of room temperature. So that's two things. Let's see what else here. Emergency needs. Okay, yes, I've always carry your kit to change your tire, some first aid care if they keep that into your kit. Also, emergency numbers, keep those into your phone. Just keep emergency. I also have on here, consider public transportation. Consider using public transportation when you are riding your bike in the wintertime. You can put, especially here in Cleveland, Ohio, you can put your bike on the front of the bus and it will take you to wherever you need to go in Cleveland. So that could be helpful if your commute is too long, or maybe at the end of the day, you really don't feel like going back. So take advantage of the resources such as the public transportation. And take advantage, I put on here the MPO reimbursement resource. Here in Greater Cleveland, we have our NOACA, and they have a guaranteed ride home program, which is, it's a reimbursement. So if you are ever stranded and you need to get back in an emergency, they will reimburse your bus fare. I want to say maybe your like Uber or Lyft, but you want to make sure you check on that link to make sure that you are covered before you just say, hey, no, like I said, it's going to take me home. Make sure that it's covered. But there's the resource for you. So I think as far as outside, I'm all set. Let me see if I missed any questions about going outside. Let me check the chat box really quick here. Yes, silk is good too. Okay, I'll go back. Oh, it's Jason. Yeah, you can stash snacks into your bar mitts. Absolutely. That's always a great place to host food. Yes. And yes, thank you for mentioning that silk, if you're allergic to different materials, because wool definitely is an itchy material. Even if I'm wearing base layer and I do have put my wool sweater on, it still comes through and itchy. So silk is it is another material that you can use to stay warm as well. Someone did mention the LL Bean store or Land's End store. So again, these are these retailers that they just specialize in outdoor activities. So take advantage of what they have, and definitely take advantage of any sales and discounts they have so you can buy the stuff that you need. All right, I am going to go ahead and shift. We were now just talking about outside. Riding outside, which can be a joy too. Even if you maybe just take a ride outside in your neighborhood on a day you don't have to go to work. You just don't know, like really 5 minutes outdoors will really do so much wonders to your mental health and to your physical health, just being outside. And I know it's cold, but just you get out there and you do it, you can just check it off, say, okay, now I've done it. Now, you don't feel like going outside. You don't care what it is. It is raining like a thunderstorm. True, don't go outside. It is entirely too cold for you. You don't care how much materials you have. You are just not going outside. I get it. So, but you still want to maintain your leg movements and just some physical activity throughout the wintertime. So that's where you can put yourself on a bicycle trainer and ride indoors in the comfort of your own home and still keep your legs spinning. So now I don't have a trainer set up right now, but I do have a few of the items that you would need. And so I have on the picture here is, okay, wait, let me move this out the way so I see. Okay, I have on the picture here just a picture of a bike on a trainer. So that's really neat. You need a trainer. There's so many different types of trainers. There's actually different, like literally types of trainers, from different stationary types of trainers, from a adjustable magnetic resistance trainer, they talk about a fluid resistance trainer, and inertial resistance, and then rollers. If you don't know, so all the previous 3 trainers I mentioned, they are like the typical trainers that you see like that. But then the rollers are actually 2 rollers. So it's almost like freehand. You're just on the rollers, rolling your bike. It's fun. You just have to start off in a hallway maybe, or you can lean on something so you can get acclimated to the rollers. And also, and as I'm thinking about this real quick, the winter time is a good time to practice if you are interested in trying to learn how to ride with clipless pedals and stuff like that. Do it in the winter time in the comfort of your own home so you can practice clipping in and clipping out before you actually go out into the public roadway and trying to clip in with your pedals. So when you are ready to ride your bike on the indoors with a trainer, you need a trainer. So picking up a trainer from your local retailer or anywhere they sell bicycle trainers is good. So pick up a trainer. You might want to invest in a trainer tire, which you will put on the back wheel of your bicycle, of your tire. Because what's going to happen is your tire is just on the trainer spinning as you're spinning it, not going anywhere, burning rubber literally. And so when you go back out into the wild, you don't want a tire that's been used because you've been on the inside burning it. So replace it. So you have a tire trainer. Sometimes a tire trainer is even a whole different color, like bright yellow. So you cannot even miss, like, oops, I forgot and I put the wrong trainer on. So look into that investment of having a tire trainer. Also, your tires still need air when you're on the trainer. You cannot ride a trainer with flat tires. So make sure you still are having air into your tires so you can ride it. And decide on your goal. Decide on really why are you riding your bike on the wintertime. It could be because you want to get in, you're going to make up a number like 30 minutes of physical activity. Okay, so you're on the bike, you're doing in 30 minutes of physical activity, or you have any other specific training program, and so you need to be on a trainer. Or you just, maybe you're bored and you're looking for something to do and you are getting on the trainer. But either way, decide on your why, because that will help you push through when you're maybe want to get off. Decide on your why of why are you on the trainer. So now what I do have for you is, I want to show you will have to, as I mentioned, you have to you may want to, okay, this isn't working. All right, see, this is not going to work. How this is shaped right here, this isn't going to work from a trainer. So you may need to get a new quick release lever for your back wheel. That's the reason why I'm showing this to you, because this is the quick release lever that came with the bike, but it doesn't fit into my trainer because of the shape. So I have to get another one. So this one, can't use it. Also, when you are putting your bike onto the trainer, your back wheel is off of the trainer just ever so slightly, maybe say like 2 inches or so. It's not that much, but it's still, you want to raise up the front tire as well. So this is a trainer block. This is a quick, like, compact trainer block where you can just put and it has a little groove on it so that you can put your wheel in it and it will stay in there. And because when you're riding your bike when you're riding your regular bike, you're riding it flat. So the same concept when you're indoors on a trainer, you're riding it flat. So you want to make sure it's flat. Now, if you don't have a wheel block, which I did not have one in the beginning, use some books, stack some books up, stack some dictionaries. If you have dictionaries in your house, phone books, any type of something, you just want to make sure you want to have the same level. And then also you want to have, I have on here things that you might want for comfort, which is a fan, because it's more than likely going to get hot. Just no circulation. When you're outside, we got the wind. We're creating our own wind. Inside, there's just none. So you may want to have a fan. You may want to have a handlebar mount for your phone, because maybe you're tracking it or what have you. And so now, and then because you're indoors, you don't have to worry about your phone falling off or being distracted. You're actually now just indoors. So having a handlebar mount could be good. You can place that onto your bike. Having some towels, maybe like 2 towels. You want to have a towel directly over your stem of the bike, which is in this area right here. This area, like right here, this is the stem area, because this is where your body is at, and this is where you're sweating and you're dripping sweat onto your stem, and you don't want your bike to start getting rusty because of your sweat. So they do make fancy towels that you can put on your bike for that very reason, or you can just use a regular schmegler towel and just drape it over your handlebar. You don't have to get all fancy. But you also may want to put a towel on the floor also, because you just might be sweating that much, and now you got water all over the floor. So put a towel up underneath there, and then you'll be all good, and you don't have to worry about all the sweat that's going on the floor on the bike. You can just focus on your why of why you are riding your bike. for that moment. Having like some water and some snacks really close to you also. When you are setting up your trainer, you might want to have a little table less within arm's reach, because it's going to defeat the purpose if you get on the trainer, start working out, and then, okay, now you have to get off the trainer to go across the room to get your water because you're thirsty. So having that stuff readily available is going to help you stay on to the bike and stay riding. Water and snacks. So you can just use your regular water bottle, and again, your regular snacks, because you're just into your house. Now I have on here some things to pass the time, because again, think about your why. Why are you getting on the bike? So Zwift, I have several apps here that you can use. Zwift is one of these apps where it's like it's a social riding app. You can ride with other people all across the world and make some friends and ride in the virtual Watopia land and stuff like that. So that's fun. Now, if you don't want to use your own bike, I did put Peloton on here because that is, they make that bike for that specific reason, for riding. So that is something that you can do. It is indoor cycling. Rouvy is an app, Rouvy. It's similar to Zwift, but it is you can recreate your ride. So if you are out riding in the summertime and you record your rides within that Rouvy app, and then come wintertime, you can ride those same rides again with the same elevation and everything. It's pretty interesting. So you can click on that. YouTube, good old YouTube. I'm sure there are plenty of riding videos on YouTube that you could follow along with, or you can just watch, you can binge watch anything on YouTube or anything like that. And then other audio platforms while you're on the bike. Again, you are riding, you're not going anywhere, you're stationary. So what you might want to do to pass the time, if you're not going to do any of the like Zwift or Peloton or Rouvy app, stuff like that, watch the TV, listen to the radio, listen to a podcast, just do anything, because anything that's going to keep you going. Because once you get bored, you might be like, I don't want to do this anymore, and you get off. So I have on here where you can buy cheap trainers. That was the name of the title. So I just put on there where to buy cheap trainers. I don't know if they're cheap. Maybe they mean inexpensive. But you can check that out, a resourcing guide if you do not have any trainers, that you can go and purchase one. And then an indoor training platform comparison, because I talked about the Zwift and the Rouvy and the Peloton, stuff like that. You want to find the one that works for you. Maybe you already have some of your apps that you use, such as like an Apple iWatch or your Fitbit, stuff like that. So I'm sure you don't want to go out and buy more items. So you can just see what items you already have and what you can use. So you can look at that. And I think that is what I have today. Tried to go really slow. I know I'm a fast talker. Let me see. Let me check in the chat here. All right, okay, thank you. Jason said a good place to try riding on the snow is the Metro Parks APT trails. They plow them, but they don't salt them. Okay, so you can test them out and try it out. I personally like riding in this winter time. It's so quiet and peaceful. Not too many people are out on the roads. It is cold, but once you learn your body and you learn the items that you have in your own closet or buy some more stuff, you get comfortable and you know what to wear. And then the thing that you want to try to diminish or not do is overheat. That's the worst, because once you overheat, you start sweating, and once you're already wet, it's a wrap. You're wet and you're cold, and now you're miserable. So if you can find ways to stay warm and stay dry, that is important. Carrying extra clothes with you could be helpful. I have done that. Now, I mentioned about the balaclava. I do have two of this, because these are one of these things that will get wet while you're riding, and you do not want to put a wet balaclava back on your head. That's just gross. So carrying two of these, if you are normally and consistently riding to work, having some dry clothes that you already brought to work, it would be helpful. To want less things that you have to carry while you're riding. And let me see what else. For us ladies, they do make winter skirts. FYI, winter, so we can stay warm and still be fashionable. I want to invest in one of those pretty soon. But that is really all I have. If anyone have any questions, feel free to unmute your mic. And it's a great way that, we can hear your voice, and any questions you can ask. And if you have any other tips, because we are all here to learn really from each other. No one has all the answers. So if there's anything that you have that that works really well that I have not mentioned, please feel free to share it with us. Okay. That's okay.
I'll drop one in here, Deltrees.
Okay, thank you.
Like one thing to consider, everyone's different. And if you're the type of rider who tends to sweat a lot, a good trick for winter riding is, instead of wearing like a tight-fitting jacket like you would for most other sports, it tends to hold all that moisture against your skin, and you get cold and then damp and then hypothermic really quick. A poncho works great in the winter because it still covers you and keeps the snow off you and keeps you dry, but it lets air circulate around your body much better, and it keeps you from getting wet from your own sweat and stuff so much. So if you have a longer ride where it's going to be snowy or mixed precipitation, like a poncho works great because it lets the airflow move around you much nicer. Keep you from just getting chilled from your own sweat. So there's a little tip for you for if you're going to keep going all winter long.
Yes, which reminded me, that's one thing I was excited about this jacket, because it has pit zips. Just as you mentioned, you want to not be super, sweaty. So I was like, pit zips, exciting. So you want to look into those things. They work. Yeah. They work.
Yeah, it's for that same reason. It's letting, no matter how anything you put on it says it's waterproof or windproof, is also probably going to hold a lot of moisture against your body, which if you're out for a short ride, it doesn't matter. But if you're going to go out and try to ride some longer rides, it does kind of help to have that airflow around you to kind of, so you're holding some heat in, but it's let some moisture kind of out as well. And that's the pit zips will do that as well.
Okay, very good. Well, I hope that everyone who has joined us today can take away with some tips and some resources. Did I drop in the chat box? If you did not get the quick guide that I made, make sure you let us know and I can get it to you. I want to end this session with, let me make sure. Yeah, I want to end this session with, okay, we do have, if you have any questions, but also 5 tips as you are riding your bike, to always follow the law at all times. We are road users, legal road users, so always follow the law. Stop at all stop signs, stop at all red lights and stuff like that. Now here in Ohio, we do have the, if the light is not working, we as cyclists can go through, but you have to make sure that the light is not working. So for example, if you see that light has gone through like 2 cycles and it's still not changing, then yes. Number 2, being predictable, especially in this winter riding climate time right now, being predictable. The law states that we're to ride to the right as possible, but that's not always going to work, especially when the winter time is coming. There's going to be a lot of snow piled up on the right and cars and what have you. So being predictable, that means riding in a straight line and follow the law. So like there's no need to like keep going in and out when you're riding just because, okay, there's snow and there's no snow. Be predictable. That's what that means. Being conspicuous, that means you want to be seen. We talked about it. 360 reflective. You want to be seen, having your lights so that you can be seen. Thinking ahead, for example, when it's time to change lanes, think ahead, look behind you, see what traffic is coming or not coming, and plan ahead. And then being ride ready, which is having your tools that you need in the wintertime, emergency numbers, resources. And my favorite part of being ride ready is your snacks. It's your water. We are Bike Cleveland, and the conversation is talking about safe streets. That's where we're going to be at, talking about safe streets. And this is how part of what we do is make sure we provide education so that the consumers and the riders can be safe on the streets. Thank you, and we will see you next time.